Good afternoon. My name is Tom Mitchell. They call me Tattoo Tom for some dang reason. The title of my talk today is Guns, Abortion, Gay Rights, Racism, Immigration, Bathrooms, God, and Tattoos. But interestingly enough, I'm not going to talk about any of those things. So you're probably wondering, well, Tom, why the heck did you call your talk Guns, Abortion, Gay Rights, Racism, Immigration, Bathrooms, God, and Tattoos? Well, I'm going to tell you. I called it that because these are the things that Americans love to talk about and to debate ad nauseum. But more importantly, these are the topics that we take action on. Billions and billions of dollars are spent annually to lobby both for and against these topics. Friends and enemies are made and lost, families divided, fistfights, mass shootings, and even wars are fought and won and lost over this handful of topics, with the possible exception of tattoos. I only threw that in the title, Tattoo Tom. I only threw that in the title for that. But seriously, the reason that I called it that is because I hope later on when my talk is downloaded to the TEDx website, folks will see that title, and they'll click on it, and they'll watch that talk, poised and ready to troll me, and comment, and disagree, and fight with me the way that Americans love to do. I want them to come at me that way. I want them to come at my talk that way. And that's when I'm going to flank them with my real talk. Because you see, if I had called my talk Childhood Cancer, the Big Fat Lie, that's not something that we want to talk about, is it? Or debate, or even think about. You see, the way that childhood cancer is presented to you, the average American, is an inaccurate portrayal. It's not smiling, bald-headed children and trips to Disney World and happily ever after. Another way to say that is that it's a big, fat lie. I'm the director of an organization called Stillbrave Childhood Cancer Foundation. We're not too concerned with who likes us and who doesn't. We don't think childhood cancer should be a spectator sport or popularity contest. And we live and breathe in the trenches, alongside our families, in the hospital rooms, in the chemotherapy clinics. And we see, and we hear, and we know what's really going on today. Therefore, I'm not inclined to want to candy coat anything. You see, I've grown weary of going to the funerals of my little friends. And I've grown weary of watching them suffer the unspeakable torments that we euphemistically call treatments. And listen, man, I have almost fallen apart personally on numerous occasions, fielding late-night phone calls and texts and Facebook messages from desperate and frightened and grieving parents with nowhere else to turn except a tattooed knucklehead like me. So I stand before you today crestfallen and weary. So I'm going to serve it to you right now, straight up. No chaser, no filter, renegade strong. Are you ready? Childhood cancer is the #1 disease killer of children in the United States. 7 children die every single day in this country alone from childhood cancer. But let me further put that number into perspective for you. At the end of the year, at the end of every year, based on that number 7, we will lose the equivalent of 5 entire elementary schools of children. They will die from childhood cancer. Some folks call that rare. 5 elementary schools a year. I call it an epidemic. But surely we live in the greatest country in the world, right? So we must have the most cutting-edge, innovative cancer treatments, and research dollars should be more than plentiful, since we are talking about the deaths of 5 entire elementary schools a year, right? I mean, surely, right? No. In fact, in most cases, we're still using 30, 40, even 50-year-old chemotherapies to treat our children. The medicines today are still so toxic and poisonous that medical personnel and nurses preparing and administering this medicine must wear hazmat suits and masks and gloves, and parents must take great caution when changing babies' diapers so that they themselves don't get exposed to what we just injected into their children's bodies. Of all the billions of dollars appropriated in this country annually for cancer research, the National Cancer Institute only earmarks 4% of that money for children's cancers. Children get different cancers than adults. 4% is not enough. NCI, I'm not afraid to call you out. You think you could bump that up just a little bit? Another 1%, 2%? Could you give just 5%? Would it kill you to do that? Because it's damn sure killing our children that you won't. When a ship goes down at sea, there's a cry. Save the women and children first. Well, guess what, man? The ship is sinking. And while America's busy looking the other way, arguing about guns, abortion, gay rights, racism, immigration, bathrooms, and God, our children are drowning. Now, speaking of children, I'm going to bring my friend Natasha out now to speak to you. Natasha is 12 years old and has a brain cancer called DIPG. Giving a TED talk was an item on her bucket list. So my organization flew her here today from Canada so she could cross that item off of her list. Go down, baby. You got this. Sit down. Got you. Go. Hi, my name.
Hi, my name's Natasha. Today, I'm here to tell you the truth. Today, I'm here to tell you what it's actually like to have childhood cancer. Through all of it, I'm going to tell you, most importantly, why I suffer. I suffer because I have cancer, because I've gone through 2 rounds of radiation and I'm only 12.
Talk about the radiation.
I suffer because radiation isn't a good way to have. Isn't a good way to have a cancer treatment. It's terrible, as you see in the picture. I am masked and nailed down to a bed. It's terrible. I'm also here to talk to you today about the other reasons why cancer sucks. Childhood cancer is like a big black hole that you get sucked into every day. It's like pain and misery, and nothing can stop it because we only have 4% of the funding that's going to protect me and is going to go into saving my life. And all these other kids that get cancer every day, only 4% is going to save them. And I don't think that's going to work. Look into your child's eyes and ask yourself, this could happen. So what am I going to do to make sure it doesn't? More than 4. Thank you.
We're giving you a standing ovation. Come here. That's for you. When you folks leave here today, I want you to go home and I want you to contemplate why that beautiful little girl needs a bucket list. And I want you to look up DIPG. I want you to look up the current treatments available and the prognosis. Here's your chemotherapy history lesson in 35 seconds. Chemotherapy is not medicine, it's poison. Stumbled upon accidentally by military doctors studying the effects of mustard gas, one of the most deadly chemical warfare agents in history, on the white blood cells of soldiers exposed to it during World Wars I and II. And thus began the archaic chess game, still in use some 75 years later today, of using poison as medicine to try to kill cancer cells while desperately trying not to kill the patient at the same time. Imagine, too, the difficulty of getting that dangerous dosage just right in the small, still developing bodies of children. Mustard gas! And that's your chemotherapy history lesson in 35 seconds. Now, sure, some folks do get better, but in almost all of these cases, once the cancer cells are killed, the damage to the otherwise healthy body remains. Chemotherapy is not a cure. It's a big fat lie. Sure, some kids get better, but it's a crapshoot. It's luck. It's leeches. It's not medicine. Speaking of big pharma, wait, was I speaking? You know what? Speaking of big pharma, because I'm not afraid to call them out either. One of our Stillbrave families has a 13-year-old boy with osteosarcoma. It's the most common form of primary bone cancer in children. He's endured 13 cancer-related surgeries including a leg amputation. But they've exhausted all chemotherapy treatment options. And yet the cancer continues to grow and spread. He has multiple inoperable tumors and is receiving in-home nursing services. He and I are friends, man. We're good friends. I nicknamed him my road dog, which was unintentionally ironic. You see, I love dogs. I think they are loyal and trusted companions, but I love children more. And while there have been 0 new drugs to treat osteosarcoma since 1979 in children, there are currently numerous initiatives and research projects underway, wait for it, herein lies the irony, to treat osteosarcoma in dogs. That's right, dogs. You see, dogs get a very similar type of osteosarcoma, almost identical to what children get. But since the cases of osteosarcoma in dogs is 15 times higher annually than that of children, dog medicine is very financially attractive to big pharma. Americans love their pets. I love my pets. We spend $370 million a year on Halloween costumes for them, which is almost twice what the National Cancer Institute spends on pediatric cancer research annually. Just saying. Soon, dog owners whose pets get osteosarcoma will have access to a cancer vaccine already in development. Google it. Parents whose children get osteosarcoma are left with 40-year-old poison. So when you ask why is there money for research for dogs and not for children? Well, that's the same question myself and so many osteosarcoma parents are asking themselves as they sit late at night alone in the dark crying, wringing their hands, hoping and praying that someday, somehow, maybe, they'll get to use that dog medicine on their own children. You see, the way that childhood cancer is presented to you, the average American, is an inaccurate portrayal. It's not smiling, bald-headed children and trips to Disney World and happily ever afters. It's vomit, it's diarrhea, it's constant needle sticks, it's constant hospitalizations, it's blood, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, it's depression, it's every kind of suffering and agony that you can imagine. It's a big fat lie. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who does this tattooed guy think he is? What does he really know about childhood cancer? I mean, look at him. And you know what? If I were you and I was sitting where you are, I might be thinking the same thing. So let me tell you what some other people think. See if you don't notice a common theme here. Childhood cancer has been a tornado that has ripped through my daughter's body. Carla Belcher, cancer mom. Pediatric cancer is a thieving, merciless, and cruel monster that attacks children, stealing their innocence and forcing them to fight for their lives while their parents helplessly watch. Denitza O'Leary, nurse. Seeing all these children dying around me, I feel guilty being one of the ones to survive. Serena Wade, cancer survivor. Childhood cancer feels like a sucker punch straight through the chest. It rips your heart out, leaving a black mass of fear in its place. Lindsay Rhodes, cancer mom. Mom, I hate cancer. I hate the hospital. I hate tubies. I hate fevers. Mom, I hate this. Tattoo Trevor, age 6, in treatment for neuroblastoma. So childhood cancer is not a priority in this country. My 2-year-old daughter's life and future were stolen from her when the treatments designed to save her killed her. Dana Hano, cancer mom. Childhood cancer is a rabid thief that is a liar, and it steals lives, families, and futures. And our company's open door response is appalling. Mark Myers, cancer dad. Childhood cancer is a horrendous beast that takes, and what it takes you never get back. Jenny Green, cancer mom. Childhood cancer shatters the soul beyond repair. Jocelyn Bataille. It's an ugly, reckless beast that comes with many heartaches. Sarah Schweigert, cancer mom. Childhood cancer is a real-life boogeyman. Melanie Noakes, cancer mom. Childhood cancer is like a slowly exploding bomb going off in a child's body. Henry White, cancer dad. Childhood cancer is hell on earth. Tony Stoddard, cancer dad. Childhood cancer is the faceless beast that lurks in our babies' bodies. Andrea Verdone, cancer mom. Mom, I'm broken. But the nurses give me stuff that makes me throw up. Camden Bataille, age 4, in treatment for leukemia. Childhood cancer robs the child of his or her innocence. Childhood cancer takes away the ability for that kid to be normal. Sarah Kay, nurse. Non-discriminatory, relentless, vindictive. All I have are words, single words. Does not get a sentence from me, Madison Peach Steiner, founder of Peach's Neat Feet, like being stuck on an elevator between floors, a constant stream of emotions. Manny Munoz, cancer survivor. Childhood cancer is a thief that steals the irreplaceable and never, ever stops. Sarah Diaz, cancer mom. Let's quit BSing ourselves here and let's just be honest and say it. Let our kids die. Because they are dying from cancer by the thousands, and we are choosing to do nothing about it. Teresa Beach, my road dog's mom. There's no bigger sense of failure than having to look a family in the eye and tell them that there are no more treatments available. KDH, nurse. They say there's nothing else they can do. How do you process knowing you're going to die? I did everything I could. I'm not scared of dying. Sorry, Dad. I tried really hard. Shayla Mitchell, my daughter. That was her last diary entry. When my daughter Shayla died from childhood cancer, I wondered why somebody didn't do something. And then I realized I am somebody. Don't wait until it's too late for your children to be somebody. Advocate, volunteer, donate, write to Congress. Hell, I don't know. Just please do something. Because the way 5 elementary schools a year, the way things are going, the life you touch just may be your own. Guns, abortion, gay rights, racism, immigration, bathrooms, God, and childhood cancer. Please, let's talk about it. My daughter Shayla died from childhood cancer in 2009. I'm not standing here today for my daughter. My God, I'm standing here today for yours. Still brave, Shayla. Still brave.